Page 13, this is the third movement of the sonatina. Got all those fancy French words. I don't speak that language and I ain't going to try to, but I'm sure there's plenty of people watching these videos who know what those words are. It has something to do with a bridge to Avignon. Okay, close enough. I'll look it over. It's a page of music to learn. Treble bass clef. No sharps or flats in the key signature. This is in the key of C major, so do the scales and arpeggios for C major and A minor. 2/4 time signature. I want a fingering that lets me connect the notes if I can get it. Here, that's fine. But in the last two measures, the first line, I go to the second line, I gotta use thumb again. I don't want to do that. I don't want to end the first line with the thumb. I need the thumb here. So I'll change the fingering. Instead of 2, I'm going to come 3. So I come down in 2. Now I'm ready for the second line. I think that's much quicker, much easier, much safer. So it's the last measure of the first line, come 3, 2, and then we can go on. I think that's about the only fingering change that I see I need to make here. Otherwise, their fingering is fine. In the third line, make sure you start that with 1/4 because you need fifth finger for the second measure. The thumb's doing this, but you want to connect this. Connect that. Same thing. Connect that. Left hand's just chords. I do a 3-2-1 because I'm here. Just 3-2-1 and then here. You don't have to come up here and keep moving around. Stay spread out. Then come up. Don't see a lot going on in the left hand that should cause any problems. At the third line, that's just a C major scale. Okay. Put the hands together, and I'll hesitate. That's okay. Rest. Left hand comes down. Get the left hand where it goes. Here. Now this left hand's just an eighth note. Get the left hand up. Okay, so I put the hands together, and then I'll go back over it maybe a line or so at a time and get rid of the hesitations. And once the hesitations are gone, then I think about the articulation. The staccato, flexing at the wrist, your short staccato. The third measure, those are not staccato. Just you get a few accents, like in the third line. A little extra. See, the accent just takes it up a notch from where you're at and dynamically. So you're just coming up a little bit. In the end of the fourth line, you get the fermata. Just hang on to that for as long as you feel right, and then you go on. I will double it because if I play with a metronome, I got to stay with the metronome. So I'll just hold it for 4 counts instead of 2 and then go on. In the last line, second measure, that fermata, I just give that an extra beat or so and then go on. Yeah. Then the speed. This is quick. It needs to feel quick. And you think, well, that's just 1, 2, 1, 2. That's not quick. That's more of a marauto feel or so. But it's the eighth notes are going to slow it down a little bit. So this is fine. You find the hardest part, maybe this part. How fast can you play that accurately? And that'll be your allegro for now. Keep in mind that even though this movement is allegro and the first movement on page 10 is allegro, they're not necessarily the same speed. It's the feel of the piece, so you got to take each one independently. They're trying to save space, I guess. I'm not sure, because the way they've written it, this is very confusing. You don't just play it straight through. I think probably you could get away with just playing it straight through, but that's not what they want you to do. The first 2 lines is a section. Remember we talked about sections earlier, I think. It's like chapters in a book. You can have sections in a piece of music. But if you look at the end of the second line, there's a double bar. That's an indication you're leaving one section and going into a new. So the first 2 lines is one section. The third line is a section all by itself because it ends with double bars. The fourth line is a section by itself. And the last line is a coda, is a section. Coda is a section. An introduction is a section, most times. And a coda is a section, most times. So this is in several sections. It's like, whoa, what's going on? Okay. Well, if you look at the end of the third line, they give you some instructions. And good luck keeping up with this. They want you to go back, when you finish the third line, they want you to go back and play section A again. That's the first 2 lines. And when you finish section A again, then they want you to go to section C and go ahead and play that. Then they want you to go at the end of section C. There's a note, repeat section A again. So you go back and play the first 2 lines, except you only go to the coda. The coda sign is a circle with the crosshairs. And when you get to that sign, you immediately jump down to the coda and play it. So is this fun or what? It's just like, well, I don't know. I would have a beer, but you'll have to have whatever you're drinking. I'm not sure. It's just, so it's going to be section A, then B, then A, then C, and then most of A, and then the coda. It's kind of in a rondo form is what it is. Now there's a couple pedal markings here. If you want to add pedal, go ahead. The idea is they're held notes, so we're giving them overtones. At the end of the 4th line, you have the firm, push the note down first, then the pedal. And when you're ready to go on, back up to the beginning to do section A again, lift the pedal with the hand. So there's a little silence. And at the last line, you get the second measure, there's pedal. Lift the pedal and the hands together, so you get an 8th rest, have a beat silence, and then in the last measure you get pedal again. In the last measure you can actually push the pedal down with the notes there. It's loud and accented, so we can have more of an explosion, so you can do the overtones immediately. I'm not going to show pedal if that's all they're doing. I think you can add those 3 measures if you wanted to. You don't need it. You can do fine without pedal if you'd prefer. Yeah.